Not so long ago, iDubbbz ended up making a video, and this video is extremely split. I have never seen people so torn on a video in an extremely long time. The reception to it is an extreme 50-50. Some people are for it, some people just absolutely don't like it, and there's a lot of people who just think this video is just completely unnecessary and just didn't have to be made. Now, what is the video about? Basically, to summarize the video, it's iDubbbz basically apologizing for the videos that he made in the past, and most importantly, the content cop is basically one of iDubbbz's most popular series, and it's the thing that he's known for, and the thing that really started his internet career. Because usually when people think about iDubbbz, they don't think about the creator clash, or they don't think about like all the documentaries or all the other things he made. They usually just think about him like, oh, that was the content cops back in the day. And a lot of people have memories watching those videos. Well, now iDubbbz ended up coming out making this video, and he's basically apologizing for all the videos that he made back then because he's extremely ashamed of it. I think that's 100% fine. I think it's weird that there's a lot of people in the comment section and a lot of people like on Twitter and stuff saying that why should you be ashamed of the videos you make in the past. I think that's 100% fine. I think there's a lot of people out there, YouTubers and just normal people in general, who have done and say things like back then, like 5 or 6 years ago, that you're just absolutely ashamed of. That's just completely normal. So I think it's fine that he doesn't really like those videos anymore. I think it's completely okay that he thinks he needs to go and apologize for it. The first thing I want to talk about is the way how he talks about his old content. In this video, he talks about the content cop like he literally made some of the worst content in the world, and he even says that he doesn't really call those videos edgy. Those videos are really just a product of their time. If you go back and watch the content cops that are currently available, that's just the prime 2016 content, and whether you liked it or not, that's just how it was back then. There was a lot of content creators who basically just made their career of being super duper edgy and just saying crazy things just to get a cheap laugh from people. Like literally, one of his catchphrases back then was literally 2 slurs combined together. And if you go and watch those videos, they aged extremely badly. So it 100% makes sense that he's not grateful and not happy of the content he made back then. And I don't think this is something that's just unique to him. I think there are tons of creators and there are plenty of other YouTubers who are like mega successful now who said that they're not happy or they're not proud of the content they made back then. And as they grow up, they just don't really think it's funny anymore because of course they're gonna age. He's like in his 30 now, and I'm pretty sure most people, especially people nowadays past the age of 15, probably doesn't think it's funny just to say a bunch of slurs and go like, haha, comedy, I said no word. I don't think most people think that's funny. And another thing that I want to bring up is that he says that he believes that he is the cause of basically breeding a lot of hateful people, which is something that I don't really agree with. I think the people that he's talking about were like that already. I think all those like super duper weirdo incels, they probably just watched his video because they just liked the fact that he was just saying like terrible words and he was just saying things that you're not supposed to say, and they probably just subscribed to him because they like that. I think they were just like that already. He didn't make them. Now I wouldn't be surprised if there were maybe some people who maybe got influenced by those videos and picked up his mentality, because one mentality he used to have was like the all or nothing mentality when it comes to like some words. Maybe someone younger watched the video and picked up that mentality. That could be true, but I don't feel like that was a lot. I feel like those people who were already terrible, they were just bad to begin with. Now I probably don't have to say this, but this is the internet, so I do probably have to say it. No, I'm not saying that all because you watched or enjoyed the content cops back then, you're not an evil and terrible person now. I'm not saying that. So chill out if you got extremely angry over what I'm saying. And he also talks about fan interactions when he started to realize the community that he ended up forming wasn't really the community that he wants. He brings up multiple times that he will go and like meet people at conventions and they will just assume absolutely just terrible things about him, and he didn't really like that. And he also includes in the video that 100% makes sense why they think that, because of the type of content he made and basically the fan base that he basically grown. He said, well, yeah, it makes sense that people think that I don't like this or I'm like this type of person, and he didn't really like that. So he really wants to go and separate himself and doesn't want to make that type of videos anymore. But one thing he said in his videos is that in the content cop, he used to like criticize people for extremely small reasons, which is something that I don't agree with at all. Whether he wants to admit it or not, he brings up some extremely good points in those videos. And yes, he may not like the sense of humor or the jokes he made back then, but the points he actually made criticizing the people are points that I think a lot of people can say that's valid. He also didn't make videos on like random creators who were just minding their own business and weren't doing anything wrong. The creators that he made videos about were people like Leafy, people like Keemstar, you know, people who, let's be honest, honest, don't have the best of track records and are not walking around as like the nicest people in the world. And some people just say they just got the taste of some of their own medicine by someone else doing it to them. Also, criticizing people isn't wrong. That's not a bad thing to do. Obviously, if they have a content creator doing something bad or just being a terrible person, there'll be lots of other content creators who basically come out and criticize him and basically talk about what he's doing. You've seen this a lot in the past, and you even see this now to this day. As I feel like there's a lot of content creators who are in his same spot. But one thing that he brought up earlier in the video, saying that he was just insecure of the type of content he makes, and he felt like the only way for him to succeed is to basically make that type of content. And I think that's something that a lot of content creators have trouble in right now. You easily can see this a lot in content creators who basically just make their career on playing one game, where there's a lot of people in those fields who really want to leave the field and want to do something else, but they usually just can't because they're scared of, what if my community doesn't follow me? What if they don't like me anymore? Or what if they're only following me because of this one thing and not for me the person? So usually when they try to go and branch out, it usually doesn't really go that good, and most of the time it could end with them like falling off and no one care about them anymore, or them reversing their decision and going back to the one niche that basically made them popular, which I don't think is something that you should really try to do. I think if you're a content creator, you don't like the field you're in, I think you should try to branch out as much as possible to basically try to grow a new audience or try to convince your audience to change. I think it's weird that iDubbbz can't move on from his past. There are so many other YouTubers in that edgy era who was just perfectly able to just move on. I mean, we have so much examples back then. I mean, you have YouTubers like Paracynical, YouTubers like PewDiePie, YouTubers like KSI, who made a lot of extremely edgy content back then, but they're perfectly able just to move on from that content, and they're not being like haunted by their past. Most people are just able to accept that, well, they're a changed man now, they're a different person, and let's accept that. But iDubbbz, for some weird reason, can't. No matter how hard he tries, he can't run away from his past, and a lot of people in the community still kind of sees him as like this edgelord, and there's a lot of people in his comment sections where like every time when he tries to make a new video trying to do something different, you would see a lot of people in the comment section saying that, oh, I miss the old iDubbbz, that's probably the reason why I called that video, and he just can't get away from like the content cops and the way how people see them no matter what. And it also doesn't help that iDubbbz still get himself in some drama. Like the most recent drama he ended up getting into was the whole Creator Clash 2 thing. That just got all messy and it tends a lot of people to make videos about it. And then even he made a response video about it. Doesn't really seem like his community really liked the response that much. So I guess that's not really helping the situation either. And also any drama that has to come with his wife, I don't feel like getting into that because that's literally a whole other bag of worms of you talking about the multiple drama that she caused with iDubbbz. So I guess that's another reason why he can't run away from his past, is that some people just see all these situations that he's getting and you just think, well, he didn't change. Anyway, this is just something that I just wanted to talk about, a pretty interesting situation, and I just want to talk about it. Anyway, my name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.